Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is now. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I did. I was gonna say, oh crap, I forgot to put the date, but no, I got it right. Sunday, February 28th, 2016. I'm thrown off because I know I screwed up the webcam, but it's okay. I'll fix it. Honestly. There we are. Now I just need to make it in the right color space. Here we are. For some reason, when I unplug and replug my webcam, it doesn't know. It stores all the settings except white balance. White balance gets reset to 0, or whatever their 0 mark is. Everything else gets the same, so it's just one thing I have to do. Anyway, yeah, so let's get started. We're going to be replacing this because I had a better idea later on. Okay. Hi, welcome, Durs. Oh, hello, Mr. Poundside as well. It didn't give me a notification that you joined, or it probably will come soon, though. Durs, I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to imply with that creeper emote. You say it a lot. Is this something I should pay attention to? No. I don't know why I loaded that level twice. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to we're actually gonna replace all of this. Because I thought of earlier, the best way of doing it is instead of having so just in case people didn't see the last one or they don't know, right now what we're doing is input, and it's supposed to be analog, right? So you can have you know, stick rotation in any orientation, and when you go up to the diagonals, it's +1, -1, and everything in between is yeah, +1 and -1. Everything in between is the whatever in between, and 0 is dead center. So the problem is that like with a D-pad or something, if we want to map this to the selection of a tile, which would be forward, back, left, right, or diagonal, we have to somehow find out which direction it's going in, or it's closest to, and snap it all the way to that side. So what we did here was we found, using F vector heading angle of forward versus right, and then we mapped that to a direction, and we pulled out the direction, and if it was within 0.1, we considered it a dead zone. But there's actually a better way of doing it, I think. And the better way of doing it is, think of it like a circle where we have center, and we have forward, back, left, or right in your case, left. And then there's the 4 diagonals. What I could have is have 9 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I think I did do the bottom. Anyway, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, dead center. And find out which circle the stick is closest to. If it's close to the center, it'll be not move. If it's closest to the forward, or up, it'll go forward. Bottom, it'll go back. Left and right will go left and right. And then up the diagonals will be closest to that as well. So we'll arrange them in a circle so we know it's going to be 1, 0, 0, 1, -1, 0, -0, -1. And then the corners will be root 2 over 2, negative root 2 over 2, sorry, root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2, negative root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2, negative root 2 over 2, because I don't want to turn my shoulder all the way around, negative root 2 over 2, negative root 2 over 2, and root 2 over 2, negative root 2 over 2. So whichever of those 8, well 9 if you count 0, 0 as well, it'll be close to, it'll be mapped to 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 1, 1, negative 1, 1, negative 1, negative 1, or 1, negative 1, right? So, and that will be like that. Because the problem is when we start going to degrees and then cutting them off in pi wedges, that's... Because what we're doing earlier is we basically segmented everything into a pi wedge, and then we said this little 0, 1 section is just dead. Okay. So now what we need to do is, so get selected direction. It's just something that's called directly, and it just returns a int vector, which would be 0. Well, it's 3-dimensional, but the third dimension is always going to be 0. It'll be 1 or negative 1, and 1 or negative 1 or 0 for any of those, right? And now correspond to how many tiles we move forward, to the tile we move, the direction of the tile we move, basically. Anyway. So, yeah, now we need to make a T-array effector valid okay, so centers. Trying to think of what I want to call it. So this would be the list of possible. So 1, 0, negative 1, 0, and so on and so forth. So we'll see which one's closest. Guide centers. Sure, why not? Guide centers dot empty. It should be, this should be a redundant operation, but you know, it's a fairly short operation. We're only doing once a frame, so. I should actually check, yeah, well, let's do this, so. Because there have been some problems in the past. For example, there is a recent security vulnerability for Google Chrome and NVIDIA drivers. I think on Mac only. I think NVIDIA says Mac only. I'm not sure if it was security researchers clarified that or not. But basically, when they're drawing frame buffers, the driver was pulling chunks from memory that were not cleared. So if you're running in like a incognito mode or whatever, you could end up having screen renders that should have been private being pulled from memory because they were never cleared when it was exited out, which is a problem, right? Although it should be always initialized empty. I mean, well, I guess the values inside them will be initialized empty, but... let's not even bother with that. Okay, let's just pull it out. Because I'm like 99% sure it's fine, but, you know. So, guide centers dot add f vector 1.0, 0.0, sorry, 1.f, 0.f, 0.f. Copy. So it should be 7 right now, 8, 9. Okay. This one will be 0. This one will be negative 1, 0, 1, 0, -1. And this would be root 2, root 2, root 2, root 2, but I need to figure out what root 2 is. I could get it exactly, or I could just find out what it is decimally and do that. I mean, I can't find out what it is exactly because it's an irrational number, but I could get whatever it's defined to be, right? Whatever the closest approximation is. Or I could just say screw it and round it to a baked value. Okay, so let's do... So let's look over here. So I'm in Google, root 2 over 2. Let's just use Wolfram Alpha. Right. SQRT2 divided by 2. 1 over root 2, decimal notation, that's a long decimal. Let's do 707. Okay. So 0.707, 0.707. Let's just initialize these as 0. Or I can just copy and paste, make it easier. Because they're going to be the same value, it's going to be some are negative, some are positive. Okay, so now we have all of these. These are our positions. Excuse me. Just a second. Got blow my nose, so it'll be 1 second. Sorry about that. So now we have our list of centers. We need to then figure out what we're closest to. So F vector current position equals F vector, and then we'll do camera forward intensity, camera right intensity, and 0. So this will be a vector of our current intensity, basically. I'm hoping all this will be on the stack, actually, because it's a very small amount, but it's possible that Unreal Engine could have applied some of these to the heap. Based on how T-ray is defined and F vector is defined. Okay. Whether the constructor does applies to the heap or not. I'm not too good at C++. Let's just be clear with that. But yeah. But this would easily fit in a local stack memory space. Anyway. Much less than a megabyte, but anyway. Or whatever it is in C++ these days. So anyway, F vector closest equals vector 0, 1, 0, 0.0. Yep. Is it just where we're going to store our closest? And then float distance equals, since we're trying to find the closest, we're going to need to start with a very, very large value. and it'll get pulled back, and whatever is the smallest will be what we'll choose. So let's start with let's start with a really big number. We're talking about values that can only be maximum of 1. So, unless we set up our control system incorrectly, but yeah. Should only be a maximum of 1, but we'll just have a really big one because floats don't really care. If it was fixed decimals, then there'd be a big difference in performance if it would overflow, but yeah. Anyway. So 4, int32, I equals 0, I less than 9, or I less than 9, I plus plus. I could have like guide centers.num, but I mean, honestly, we're here. It's 9. Oh, okay. So max, sorry. Min distance, sorry. Float. Current distance equals f vector distance, sorry, dist of current position and guide centers I. If current distance is less than min distance, then min distance equals current distance, and closest equals guide centers I. So this will loop through all of our values. Yeah, okay, you know what, let's do it the right way. If this is not correct, then we'd have some serious problems with our logic, but I mean, honestly, what are we saving? We're saving the lookup of one size of a T array once per frame. We're not really doing that much, so it would be more pedantic than anything else. And then here's where we get the problem. So we then need to convert this into an integer, and I'm trying to think of the best way of doing that. There's a way we can do it with a bunch of ifs like we did down here and just be like, if it's this and that, if it's that and that, but let's actually do, I think I can do a better way of doing it, so probably using math.round. So let's do UE4 API fmath. There really isn't round. has to be around. What? Okay. I mean, there's a standard library for it, but well, I mean, I say I don't really want to use standard library. I mean, it's not exactly the worst thing in the world, but, you know. It's good enough for every C++ project out there, and it's probably actually ends up calling it anyway, but when you're in an API, you like to use the API as much as possible without calling it their stuff, even though it is standard library, right? So let's do a thing for round. Look on their math. I had to have used this before. Come on. Round to int. Yeah, here it is. What does it even call? Generic platform math round. Oh, maybe it's a parent. Maybe that's why it's not in fmath, because it's in fmath's parent, so they didn't reduplicate in the yeah. So let's try that. So f int vector result. Let's just do return f int vector, and we'll have closest dot x, but it'll be at fmath round. Okay, yeah, there is. Fmath round closest dot y 0 0. Sorry. I was gonna make it a float and really just blow up the function, but there we are. So bingo, bingo, there we are. Okay, now we need to test this somehow. So how do we want to test it? The best way, well, one of the best ways would be to have unit tests, but and just spam it with values on compile. But not many values, but you know, some. Okay, let's just do it this way. So since we're not doing anything with it yet, let's just Do a UE log. Let's do warning. Hi, welcome back, Durs. Okay, so so this should work. So now if we go to Unreal Engine, let's see if it does the hot reload thing. We had a problem with it earlier where the hot reload would lock up the engine for a couple minutes. Oops. It was actually quicker to shut down the engine and recompile, but it looks like it's fine now. Now I need to look at my log. So window. Output and output window is outlog as well. There we are. Okay, so now if I do this, how do I make you be able to see this? Okay, we have to take. Okay, now I can do it this way. Bingo. There we are. So you can see it's under my head. As I'm moving the stick around, it's sorry. When I'm in the game and I'm moving my stick around, it's choosing the correct one. So forward, back, right, left, up right, back left, up left. And smoothly goes around. Makes kind of a little weird wave pattern if I do circles. And when I center it, it's 0. So it's spitting out the right values. It's doing it once per tick, it's not stopping, but yeah. And this will be pretty robust, because it's just doing closest patterns, so. Looks like it favors non-diagonals a bit. But it's easy enough to snap to diagonal if I want to. Okie dokie. So then I'll stop this. And now we got the appropriate level angle as opposed to trying to do some weird pie segmentation of the vectors and cutting on a dead zone. There we are. So now we can what was it again? If oh no, I forgot what the name of that was. So Visual Studio Code. So this is not a usual Monster Cat song. It's from it's from actually one of the newer albums, the 23. So yeah, let's look over in here. I think it was AI runnable that I did this sort of stuff in. I'm looking for a compiler directive. There it is. This is what I'm looking for. So if it's not shipping and I comment out false. So if not UE build shipping and false. This way it won't no, it's not. So let me see how this is again. So if we're not shipping, and false. So this will run if it's not shipping. When I do and false, it will lock it. So anything and false is going to be false. So, yeah. This won't run anymore. Okay. So now we know this works. I can delete all of this crap because it's just redundant now. And then I can use a git shell and do cd c:/. Git status. Okay. Git diff. Source. I'm trying to think of where that's from. I think it's from StarCraft, right? It's like Oblivion Descent is like oh, which unit is that? Not it's not a Zelda. I think it's Immortal. Anyway. Ever going to do the game jam scene again? Possible. I mean, jam game went pretty well. For being a, load of crap, but, Git add whoops. Start to implement per tile movement. Okay, so what we're going to do with this is now we know how many tiles we need to go over based on this. We're going to use that knowledge to, on each movement, jump for that amount of tiles. So, here. So if it's camera moving, is there helper function defined here? Which if we're not in the input dead zone, oh, I can't even do that anymore. Yeah, let's because this doesn't make any sense anymore. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so let's do f int vector. This is going to do a little bit of extra work because it's going to have to copy, which is going to be a deep copy. When I could just send it by pointer, but a little bit of work, who cares? So current user input direction. Current user direction, I'll say, equals get selected direction. So if B is stopped, if current user direction dot x equals 0, and current user direction dot y equals 0. Then we're sorry, does not equal 0, or does not equal 0. So if the user is currently selecting a direction that's not just a centered stick, we're starting our movement. And over here we get a tile, just debug command. Let's undo this, we don't care. So the user wants to move in this direction. Now, there's one thing we have to think of as well is, and this is going to be a pretty simple one. If you're at the edge, so let's say you're, let's actually show you in game here. Let's say you're in game here, and you know, oh, it's yeah. Let's forget about that. I can't show it to you. But let's say you're at the edge of the level here, and you can't move any further. Do I want diagonal presses to let you still move forward and back? Or should I, you know, if you put any component to the right, should it just block movement altogether? That's pretty sensibly no. If you're telling me to go upright and you're against the right wall, you should still at least go up, right? But it's something to think about. Actually, it's not even gonna matter anyway, because current user direction is not gonna work. Okay. So anyway, oh, I forgot to mention here, this precompiler directive, what it says is if you're in a shipping, like if you're not in debug mode, there's no way this will be run. It'll just be skipped over. It won't even be compiled into the game. It just won't even be there. But even if I'm in debug mode, this actually lets me terminate it. So it allows me to make a couple of extra defines to turn on and off certain messages. Let's get user-defined direction. We know that's good because we already tested that. If we're stopped, then we are stopped. If if get selected direction dot x equals 0. Oh, no, that won't work. Okay. Hi, the Great Nero. Try to do two things at once, which is probably the best idea to, you know, think. Actually, move this entire directive up. So if stopped, then if we're trying to move, is this the first move? If so, do it slowly, so user can easily select the very next block. Else, we're still stopped, don't do anything, right? If this is, you know, there. So then we get the current tile. So if current time is less than camera time of next selection, then we're just going to perform the move. Don't consider further inputs yet. Else, camera time of next selection equals current time plus camera subsequent snap delay. And again, these all allow in the UX, in the UI for people to modify. My starting one was, I believe, 250 milliseconds for the initial one. So you have a quarter of a second to let go before the next input's calculated. But if you keep holding at every 50 milliseconds, which is every 3 or so frames, it's going to try jumping to the next one. Oh, I also need to store have a selection. There we are. Time of current selection. So this will be when we animate between them, right? Camera time of current selection equals current time. So then when we animate, we can animate between these 2 points. Did I just return as well? Oh, this is so it won't fail. Okay, yeah. So this we're saying B is stopped as false. Else, if current user direction dot x equals 0, and current user direction dot y equals 0, then we will do b is stopped equals true. Actually, no, we won't. We'll do this when the animation finishes. Yeah, we'll do it when the animation finishes. Then, okay, so... So, here it is. If, user direction x equals 0 and current user direction y equals 0, b is stopped equals true, else here. There we are. Animation complete. Ignore. Sorry. Is the animation complete and the user doesn't want another? Okay. I think I might be doing this incorrectly, but we'll see. Okay, so if... This is one of those times where you should really design it out on paper before you start programming, but yeah. So you can visualize what you're doing. So if we're stopped, if this is the first move, if you're still stopped, do nothing, right? But if you're not still stopped, then you have the next tile to concern yourself with. Oh, I know what to do. Next tile equals this is when we select the next tile. Oh, and here's where I'm starting to get into confusion here. This is going to continuously happen. Okay. Oh, no, if it is stopped. Okay. Yeah. So that's good. If so, What the hell? Let's just do this in Photoshop. Let's see here. So Photoshop. Okay. So new. 80 inches. No, I want something much less than that. Let's do US paper. Why not? Bingo. Okay. Then here. Oh my god. There. I had my pen too close to the screen, so it was constantly moving my mouse back. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to move the camera. So so we start. Oh, we're there. We are. So start. Then we'll have is user input. No. Do nothing. Just validate current tile. So validate current tile. If yes, then we get so you're explaining something. If this, then did they already? No. Then it's the first move. So validate tile. And then we need to it's really not working well for let's do the here. So size jitter off. Okay, so it's not doing that. Okie dokie. Let's just clear all this. Should just create a new canvas, honestly. There we are. So start. So do we have input? No. Validate. Tiles, and then continue animation if applicable. So if we do have input yes, then we if we do have input, then we will need to figure out is it the first input? Make this line a little bit longer. Is it first input? So no actually, before we do that, let's do the are we currently animating? Yes, then continue animation. If no, then we need to select next tile. Then is this first animation? Them art skills, yeah, it's very difficult to do some printing on a tablet monitor, but still. And my handwriting sucks anyway, but still. So is this the first animation? If yes, delay max. No, delay min. And then animate. Okay. So that's a logical flow. So we start off with the start, of course, which is the start of every tick, every frame. If we have input, then we will if we have input, no, then we'll just validate that the tiles are correct and then continue if possible. If yes, then are we animating? Yes, and we continue animating. If not, select next tile and validate. And once we have next tile, we need to animate to it, but it'll be different if it's the first animation or not. So, yep, let's go. Back here, let's just comment all this crap out. Boots and cats and no, okay. Okay. So, if current user direction dot x equals 0 and current user direction dot y equals 0. Whoops. This is our first thing here. If we have input, no, just validate everything and continue animation if applicable. Okay, so we'll just validate tiles here. If current tile does not equal, if not current tile, sorry, then we will do this whole here, and then here. We got problems. Okay, so here. So now we will then continue animation, which will be here. Else, there we are. So now we then have, if we're currently animating, just continue animation, don't worry about it. So if current time is less than camera time of current selection, else, because you see here it's just continuing animation, we don't have to do anything here, so that's good. But else we would, so we need to select the next tile and validate. So so let's change this to is first animation. There we are. I don't think I use it stopped anywhere else. If not, the precompiler will tell me. So we need to select our next tile. So we need to do this again. Next tile equals current tile, or next tile equals f int vector. Oh, what am I doing? Whoops. F int vector. Next tile coordinate equals current tile dot current tile pointer location plus no, let's do it here. So now how did I have this set up in the game mode? Level dimensions, right? Oh, I can just do it here, yeah. I'll do it in one step, plus whatever this was, current user direction. If next tile coordinate dot x is greater than game mode, whatever I called it, level dimensions dot x, greater than or equal to, I should say. Then next tile coordinates dot x equals game mode level dimensions dot x minus 1. We're gonna have these be uncoordinated. X is let's do Y first there. Game mode. Next tile coordinates dot Y equals game mode level dimensions dot Y minus 1. If next tile coordinate dot x is less than 0, next tile coordinate dot x equals 0, next tile coordinate dot y is less than 0, next tile coordinates dot y equals 0. So we're checking here if we're clipping out. And now we need to find what that is. So next tile equals what is it? Game mode, get tile coordinates. Get tile nearest location. Oh, get tile that coordinate, right? There we are. So now we have the next tile. So looking back here, we have this done up to here. So we validate a tile, and then this will just be after we leave this big F statement. If yes, we're up to here. That was here. If we're animating, so if our current time is less than the time of next selection. Sorry, whoops. That was a bug. If we're currently animating, then continue animation. If not, then we're going to select next tile and validate. Here. And if it's first animation, then we'll do that sort of stuff. But now we just need to validate these here. So if next tile, if not next tile, we'll do next tile equals current tile. Or if next tile still, so we still don't know if current tile is valid, then we'll do this here and we'll just fail out gracefully. There we are. Actually, it should never call, because if it does call, we should already be kicking out here, but... Unless... Oh, yeah, this won't happen. If not current tile or not next tile, return. We'll also have this be here. Somehow. There we are. Now I get a next tile, that's good. Animation continue after this block, so let's see here. This ends here, so doing animation here is here. Okay, cool. So now we need to find out if it's the first animation or the next animation. So B is first animation equals true. There, so we're resetting this. Oh, we need to do this. Okay, so what this will do, this will reset first animation every time the stick is centered. So what this means is that during the animation, if I do this sort of thing, and I make it go to center at some point, it's gonna treat it like it was the first one. It'll give me the first Hallis delay. It won't do if I keep scrolling around, but if I happen to have the center be the closest value at any given point in time, it will treat the next animation like it's a slow one you want to pick slowly. We'll see how that feels. I'll leave a note here, but we'll see. So do animation here. So if B is first animation. Oh, I probably have that set in my constructor. Oh, no. So yeah, we'll have it set B that first. B first animation. Okay. Camera time of next selection equals -1. Camera time of current selection equals -1. There we are. So for the first animation, camera time okay, so here. Yeah, let's do here. So if current time less than camera time of next selection. I may have screwed up a little bit here with setting defaults to being negative, but that animate block is getting to be a bit more difficult than I realized. So we have all the logic here to select which blocks we need. If next tile. So this is the chunk of the animation that we have to figure out. Let's go back here and think a little bit more. So, do we have inputs? Sorry, we have input. we don't have input. We do have input. So if we don't have input, all we need to do is validate and let the animation run. But if we do have input, then we need to if we do have input, we need to ignore input if animation is running. If animation is not running, this is all just kind of red herring logic here. It doesn't actually change anything. It just makes sure that for some reason, in the event that something is, like the tile swapped or whatever, we grab the correct one before we start using it. So ignore current input if the animation is running, but if animation is finished, correct tile. Something's telling me this logic should have just been outside this block and not have to deal with it inside. Oh no, actually, we can't do that because if we're midway, it would snap us back, right? So if our current input is animation is running. Finished. Oh, whoops. For it said I just grabbed it. So now we get the next tile. If not, next tile. Yeah, I even need this, so let's just have this be here. I'm gonna do it right over here. If not next tile equals current tile. If we don't have a destination, snap to current tile. mostly to get tile at start of game. Get the first tile at start of game. Or some other crazy catastrophic bug. There we are. Ignore non-zero current input after animation is running. If the animation is finished, get the correct tile. Get next tile. Validate current tile and get next. Okay, so now we have the next tile. Next tile is current tile. Now the animation. At this point, if not current tile, return. At this point, we've done all our validation we could. Some weird thing happens. Just instead of crashing, we're just gonna return out and not do any animation. But if we have a next tile and a current tile, then we can run our animation, and that will be the distance between the two tiles and however far along we are between next and current selection. So if the animation is finished, we'll get the next tile. So B is, if B is first animation, B is first animation equals false. I can just do is not equal to itself, but false is actually easier to write in this point. Camera time of next selection equals, let's do a current selection. Equals current time. Camera time of next selection equals current time plus whatever that is. Camera initial snap delay. Else camera time of a current selection equals current time. Camera time of next selection equals current time plus camera subsequent snap delay. So now we have all that. Now we'll get the pawn position. So player pawn effector current pawn position equals effector current pawn position. I'll probably end up combining these two statements. Equals fmath lerp. Or f vector lerp. Is it f vector or lerp? No, it's fmath. Yeah, lerp. There we are. Between current tile get actor location tile location current next tile get actor location, and then okay, so f vector here, so float animation position equals oh, it's almost 11, geez. Okay, we'll go a little bit long if we need to. I started a bit late today, about a half hour late apparently. I had stuff to do, but you know. Here, let's get rid of that. Because instead of just doing it for one case, we'll have it down here, because in all cases this will work. Time. Animation position is camera time of next selection minus current time. Divided by camera time of next selection minus camera time of current selection. Then animation position. There we are. So this is where the actual animation itself. That was a wrong statement. Now for the animation itself. We're getting how far along the animation we are. And let's do here. Animation position equals fmath clamp. 0, 1, and sorry, was it? Oh, okay. Animation position 0 and 1. Here. Now again, if the current tile and next tile are the same, this will be interpolating between itself and itself. So this will never actually move. It'll just snap. No matter how far along we are, it'll just snap right to center. Which is good in the event that the game starts. We'll just snap to the board where we're supposed to go, whatever our tile is. Then I can delete all this later on. This should work. I don't think I'm forgetting anything, so let's compile. I might be forgetting something, but we'll figure it out eventually. Nearest tile is null. So it spat out a bunch of nearest tile is null, but then it stopped. Okay, so it's spitting out a bunch of nearest tile is null until I... See here? Yeah, it stops when I press a value. So why are you not spitting out the right one? This is something that can be solved by debugging. Set a breakpoint. Set a build. Oops, that's wrong. I need an actual level. Okay. Let's do 1 continue, 2 continue, 3 continue. Okay. So nearest tile is null. So step into. Let's step out of that. I don't really care. I want to stay in my own. Current tile is null. If current tile is null, then we're gonna get this here. So what is this return? So let's step in. Selected tile is null. So we're trying to find the nearest one. Some are getting nearer, some are getting nearer. If we step out. Oh, I don't set it. Oh, that's a problem. I did that same bug again. And I probably copied and pasted there, that's why it didn't work. Okay. So let's disable our breakpoint and run back with debugging. We might need to put a breakpoint back in because I think it's going to actually fail still, but yeah. Because I don't think this will work, but we fixed one bug. Yeah. So it's not listening to my input. Not sure why. Let's actually try here. Let's start off with going over here. We'll snap us to center. Okay. So it's snapping us. Oh, it's not snapping us to the correct tile. Starting a player start. Oh, I never set the pawn position. Whoops. Okay, so player pawn. Yeah, sorry. Set actor location, current pawn position. I knew I was forgetting something, but well, I say that, but you know. Okay, so it's backwards for some reason. Probably because I'm facing the wrong direction. Yeah, I don't account for left or right, but here I am, and it goes... It can't go on forever, so it's for some reason looping back. So it looks like it's looping and then on back, it's jumping back to the tile. So let's see here. Okay, so this is a tile it wants. Yeah. So for some reason it's looping back, so another bug. And also I need to change this speed here. That's way too fast. Current tile equals next tile. Let's try that. And then we'll validate if it's correct. There we are. Oh, that's interesting. And in the wrong direction. Wow. That's a very funny bug to see. Which means that I probably have this backwards. Or this clamps backwards. Oops, right here. Oops. So min-max. No, that's correct. So the clamp's correct. A, B, and alpha. So we're clamping between start, end, and the value. The current time. So let's try this. Let's compile. It's funny, it looks like it's going I don't understand. Wow. This hurts my head. Okay, we're in the right ballpark though. We're getting it closer. I'll start by deleting all of this crap. Hi, welcome to the chat. Kind of next selection minus current time. Any clamp between these 2 points. They're supposed to go backwards. Alright, because this is going to go from 0 to 1, so we'll have to invert that. Because as we get it closer to the ends, yeah. There we are. So this will tell us a bit more what's going on. Oh, I can't do that. It's not invert. Okay, yeah. Whoops. Position equals 1.0 flow, or 1.f minus animation position. I should actually do that after the clamp, not before. Because it'll be a min-max. It won't vary between. It's not a lerp, it's a clamp, right? Let's just have this here. No, let's do it this way here. It's one more instruction, but... the compiler will make it work right. Okay, this is right. So this is working right. It's not gonna, it's not gonna work when I rotate the camera, but I can fix that later on. But it works how we want right now. And it lets us snap between squares one by one or hold, and it keeps scrolling. So it kind of goes punk, right? Feels really good. Now, if this was longer, I can do a ease in out. I'm not sure if ease in out would really help any. It tends to make nicer looking animations, but oh, I was like, what happened? Did my did I reach a bug? No, the engine crashed. There we are. Well, it didn't crash. I guess it just unfocused me. It kicked my input out. Okay, so let's get out of here. So instead of fmath lerp, let's copy this, then paste this. Out instead of this would be fmath interp ease in out. And then I need an exponent for this, so this would be, let's say, 2. So now instead of this being like, you know, linearly going and stuff, it's gonna actually ease in and out. It's gonna accelerate and decelerate. Feels very similar, honestly. A bit more snappy with each tile. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. Feels pretty good with just one. Feels kind of awkward when you're quickly scrolling though. Okay. I'm thinking that LERP's gonna be a bit better. Let's try this again. Feels kind of good for the first one, but subsequent ones, I'm thinking LERP might feel a little bit better. Not really, it still feels kind of janky. You know what, let's try LERP again. Let's try a different exponent. Let's go nuts and try 10 for exponent. And then we'll call it a night. Whoa, that's way too fast. Okay. Let's try 1.4. Should be a little bit less than the 2 we tried before. Let's see, going the other direction, right? And then next time we'll, probably next time we'll do, I actually like it 1.4. Feels a bit janky on diagonals. But that's more probably to do with the speed of snapping. Okay. Yeah, so this feels pretty good. It's been almost exactly 2 hours. It's 1 hour 59 minutes. Yeah, I'm thinking I'll probably keep this. Okay. Does anyone have any questions before I head out for tonight? Shut off my controller, of course. No, I don't want to open a game bar. I wish there was a quicker way to turn off these controllers without doing a weird... And there was a command that they have added in, but it's a bit awkward. Okay, so while I'm waiting to see if anyone has any questions, and like, don't feel shy, ask questions. I'll commit this. Git add source. Git add source. Status. Git commit. Implement. Per tile movement. To do account for forward vector. Per tile movement for forward-looking camera. Okay. Nope, no questions, so I'll see everyone later. Thank you for watching.
Now